Hey everybody, this is Dana with the Freedom Please channel and essenceofme.com. We have like a couple minutes before I start recording live, so I'm getting situated before I start. I hope that this message finds you well, and I'm trying to figure out how to put this camera. I think, just a second. It seems like I'm doing this every time, but I'm trying this time with my iPad, and it seems like that makes it a lot easier. I just don't have the height that I would like. There we go. So today I'm only going to be I'm trying my best to stay at 30 minutes. This is a live crafters chat. I have yarn. I have an update on the quilt project, which is the Freedom Bound quilt. I also have I said the Crochet Cardigan. Can't remember if I said that or not, which is going well. It probably would have been done if I would have had the yarn. I ran out of yarn, so I'm going to show you that, and I'm also going to show you like some of the yarn that I have left to finish. The particular yarn that I'm using, I actually bought a while ago, so it was a part of one of my hauls, but I just didn't start the project. So let me get all my hellos in. Hello, Miss Marilyn. If you don't forget to kind of give thumbs up, pop a comment in, and I'm going to try my best to watch this while we're going, because I'm not planning to keep y'all long. So here we go. Don't forget to let me know hey Regina, what you're working on, how everything is going. If you are working on our Christmas and July project, hello, She Prays 365. I don't know your first name though. You can let us know how that's going too. We have a couple of people now that are finished. My project, I'm not even gonna lie, y'all, it hasn't even moved. Hello, Erica. And I love that handle. It hasn't moved much because last month, between just being busy, I also went to Mom's summer camp, which I normally go to in July. And this time, instead of teaching, I just, you're welcome. I actually just went, which was amazing. And so I worked on this crochet cardigan, and that's what I'm going to show you first. If you all are interested in, it's not my pattern, it's someone else's pattern. It's one that I bought. If I'm not mistaken, the pattern was maybe $5, but at the time it was on sale on the site for 50% off. So it was $2.50. And I had this yarn for my sister. So I'm going to show you, it's not a cardigan yet, but I'm going to show you, it's made out of hexagons. And here's the hexagon. I have this chocolate brown, this variegated color, and this purple. And this yarn is the Impeccable. Hey, Vanessa. It's the Impeccable, and thank you so much to the Essence Rockstars, which is the private group on Facebook, that told me I bought this yarn so long ago. I couldn't even remember if it was from Michael's or from Hobby Lobby, and so it was my sister, you know, that wanted it. So here's this hexagon. I'm gonna stand up. Y'all don't mind my clothes, okay? Here's the hexagon, and this turns into the front panel, the sleeve, and well, half of the front panel, half of the back panel, and one sleeve, and I'm going to show you how. I'm going to try to fold it. So today I will be seaming this up, but I had ran out of yarn, so I couldn't finish one arm. So here it is. Look, it's the side and the front panel and the back panel. So here it will be. It's for my sister, and her arms are longer. My arm is here. Now, what's interesting is it's going to be hooded as well. So once this is seamed to the other panel, which I have here, it grows, you add to the bottom. And to the bottom, let me get my chair. I have these yarns. I don't know which one I'm going to use. I have more of the chocolate brown, which they call chocolate. I have this tan, which they call soft taupe. I have more of this, the variegated, which is called Southwest. And I have this teal. I can't remember if I just showed that. I don't recall seeing the name, which is called Aqua. And some variation of that is going to go at the bottom of this cardigan. And then there's the hooded portion. So I may not use much of this because I want enough of this as well as the purple to put around the front of the hood because she does want the hood. When I started this project, I had one of the really big, it looked kind of like the 1 pound Karen, but it wasn't Karen. It is. That chocolate brown is one of my favorite colors, and another reason why I bought it is because she wanted me to make her something like my prayer shawl on the back of my chair. But she wanted different colors. She didn't want it exactly like mine, but she just wanted it something like mine. Then when I saw that crochet cardigan, and I knew I wanted to make one for me, but I always like when I can make it for somebody else to see if I really like it. And she loved it. So I have the colors that was kind of reminiscent of this, but it was in her own kind of style. So this Southwest was grabbed to mimic this. The same kind of, this was a light brown, which is like that taupe. And so it was supposed to be reminiscent of this, but her own thing. That is all made with Red Heart, and this was all going to be made with Impeccable. And I had done that at the time, again, on purpose, because I wanted to do a whole project with the Impeccable because it was affordable, just to see how I liked it. And so, yeah, I saw the pattern. I think somebody online or a blog or something must have mentioned it. And when I went to the site and I saw it, I was like, oh, this is perfect. Like, you could literally do this entire cardigan probably in one weekend. Like, I could have been and had it finished because essentially it's like a big granny square. Y'all know I like granny squares. So it is. The yarn is nice. It feels good. I think it's, I'm looking to see what the fiber makeup is. I think it's 100%. Oh, excuse me, acrylic. I can't. It is. It's 100% acrylic, but it feels really soft. And I like the way that it's working up. It's also done on a large hook. I didn't use the hook that they suggested because I didn't have that one. I really need to go buy more hooks. But I used the one that I had, and it's working out just fine. Now, the only downside to the pattern that I'm finding is I don't feel like the sizing is realistic. They had a extra large size, I believe, measured at a 25 chest circumference, like 25 inches. What extra large do you know is 25 inches? And so I had to make adjustments because my sister is a little bit more busty. And I also wanted to fit very relaxed and comfortable because it'll be hooded, which means she can wear this at work, she can wear it to church, it'll be very, very comfortable. So with all of that said, that's the update on this. And I'm very, very pleased. I had to stop because I ran out of that big 1 pound thing. And so I went to Michael's yesterday and got 2 more of the chocolate brown, and that allowed me to finish this second panel. And then tonight I will use some of the leftover purple. I had 2 skeins of purple. I had 2 skeins of the purple. I had 2 skeins of the Southwest. I have 1 of the taupe and 1 of the teal, and I had the big 1 pound looking one, and then I went and bought 2 more of these. I don't think I'm going to use any of this. Was the yarn on sale? When I bought it at the time, Vanessa asked, was the yarn on sale? When I bought it at the time, the yarn was on sale. When I went back to get these 2 of the chocolate, they were 2 for $6, which I still think is okay. Y'all gonna see the kids and stuff walking by, but which I thought was good because if you think about it, it's like $3. And I was comparing it in my mind because of the feel, kind of like the Baracco, which I pay like $7 each. Now, I think this is a little bit softer than the Red Heart to me, but I also like the Red Heart, the soft one, and I don't think it's as soft as that, but it feels like it's a little finer, even though, hello, Margaret, even though, you know, not thinner, it's still a size 4 worsted weight, but it just seems like it's a little more, not as puffy. That's what I would say. It's not as puffy. So, I think to do this, if you had to do a larger, if I had to do another one of this size, what I would do differently is I probably would only pick maybe 2 or 3 colors, and I would just buy the 1 pounds. That's what I would do. So essentially, if you had a coupon, like if you go to Joann's and you get the 1 pounds or they're on sale, then essentially you'd be able to have enough yarn to make a crochet cardigan for about 20 bucks. Which that's a steal. That's a steal. And real talk, because it's done in this, like, it's a hexagon, you could use your stash, because now the only thing about it is if you use your stash, you would need to save enough. I wanted both of those panels to actually mirror each other so that when I sew up the seam up that middle back, because you sew it up, that they match, right? That the left and the right side match. So once you get that left and right side together, I mean, it's going to be whatever you want to do going down, because you're doing it in rows. So just get enough to make sure that the left and the right side. So what I'll do is, after I finish this video, I will put the link to the pattern in the, I'll put it in the description because I can't do it right now. But I love it. It's very, very easy. After you get past the, maybe the fourth round, it's by memory. And it's, if you know how to do a granny square, you can do this. It's really easy. Very mindless crocheting. So let me get these out of the way. And again, I think at the most the pattern was $5, but even after doing this, like, it's worth the $5. Both of these panels are completed, so they've already been tied off, and I'll be just seaming them later. I'm storing it in this, but for right now, I'm gonna just toss it to the side. Now, what I'm interested in doing is I'm interested in making another one for myself in this yarn. I showed this a long time ago in a haul. It is a cotton blend, but I think it would look like a denim jacket. And I want to use this. I have, I think, I think it's 10 skeins of these that I bought a long time ago on sale. And I think they were like $2 or something. Hello. I think $2 or something like that. Like, it was really inexpensive. So I want to make another one in this. One of the cardigans? You made one of the cardigans for yourself? Thank you. I'm looking forward to it. Now, here's the last thing that I got, which I've kind of put like a mini yarn home, because I showed you that yarn. This yarn. This was the Cuddly. And it's cotton. It's 100% cotton, and it's that like denim color. Oh, okay. Did you use that same pattern, Miss Marilyn? She said she made it. I posted it on IG. Okay, I'll look for it. Okay. So, the last thing that I did when I went to Michael's is I bought some yarn. Now, I've been on a freeze on buying yarn, which is why I've been just pulling out stuff that I have. And, but when I went, I saw this and I had to get it. Which is this. This is the Karen Cakes. I bought 2 skeins. And I'd seen pictures, people were posting pictures all over with it. But I know that Marilyn, that you see in the comments, she made something with it. And she kept asking me, you know, had I seen it? And because I haven't been going yarn shopping, I had not seen it. I didn't see it in the stores because I haven't been to the stores. And when I go to to Joann's, I don't go to the yarn section at all because I know I'm going to see something. So anyways, I had to go get more yarn, and I saw this. They had a coupon online for 50% off. either 40 or 50% off. They were $7.99 each. So I got one for $7.99 and the other one was the 40 or 50% off. I did buy two cakes of it. And the reason why I bought two is because I want to make this. It's a free pattern that's on their site. It's a standard crochet, standard knit shawl, but I love the striping. So I'm looking forward to having to only change, you know, yarn once and enjoy this. So this, I believe they gotta carry it at the other places because it's Karen. So you can get it at Joann, you can get it at Michael's, and you maybe, I'm sure, get it at Hobby Lobby too. So I got that. And I have, oh, the squares. Just one second. Okay. So last time with the Freedom Bound quilt update, I was telling you all that I had to size up. It was almost 300 blocks. And the 300 blocks look like this originally. And I had to cut them down to the 2.5 inch size. And now I have all Joann's don't carry it, only Michael's and Hobby Lobby. Really, I wonder why Joann don't carry the cakes, because they have better coupons. But I have now, of the 300, I only have 5 left that I need to resize, and I have the other 200 and something done in this pile, and then I have to make more. So I am still working on, this is month 10, and it is to make, I think, 30 blocks, and it's a whole bunch of these 2.5 inch squares that I've had to make. Here's another set of them. And I have this last 5 to do, which I'm going to finish tonight. And after I do this 5, then I will make more of them. But I think the next set of them are the last ones that I'll need to do to get these 30 blocks put together. So essentially it's going slow, because between this and work, I just have to keep just plugging at it, one thing at a time. So we, like 10 more minutes. Okay, before I get ready to kind of go to the last, I think that's it on the updates. Any questions? Does anybody have any questions? Let me know if you do. So what do I have to finish? I'm working on my cowl. Oh, yay, Kayla. And I'm going to tell you all, I really apologize that I have not put up those other videos, but I'm just like, right now, I'm trying to get this finished. Oh, that was the other thing I had to show you. Okay, I'm going to go grab my binder. Just one second. Okay. So I'm going to show you this binder. So I have my my cowl that I'm working on for the Christmas in July, which is moving kind of slow only because I'm doing it a little bit at a time. And that, like that crochet cardigan it's easy to do because I don't have to carry the pattern around with me to do it. But I've just been slowly adding to it. I'll be finishing up this cardigan, and if I have it done before I come back, I'll just take pictures, because my sister is so ready for it. She saw me working on it while we were at camp, so now she's ready for this. So I want to finish that, and then I'm going to probably go right into making one for myself with this yarn. I need to put these into cakes so that they'll be easier to actually move and use. I am finishing up these blocks, so hopefully when I come back next month, I will have those 30 blocks done. Oh, I hope I have those blocks done. And then I can move on to the next set of blocks. And another thing that I've already started thinking about while I've been finishing is all of this extra. For the Freedom Bound quilt, one of the things that I told you all that I did is I created a binder. Thank you so much. I created this binder to house all of my leftover fabric. So see, this is all the leftover fabric. Thank you. Girl, look, I'm gonna do it. It's gonna get done. And if I'm still standing on my feet when I do. So here's all of the leftover fabric that I have from the Freedom Bound quilt. And like this one, it's like I have a lot of it, and I still have more blocks to finish, and I have more over there that I haven't even filed away into this binder. And what it's made me think about is how I want to use it. So kind of some ideas that I'm thinking about, and then I'll get to our closing thing, is I'm thinking about doing either a like a crumb quilt, like a piece. Well, number one, I know I want to do a pieced back with the leftover fabric. So I know I want to do a pieced back. But I'm thinking I want to do it either as a crumb quilt or to do it as like some sort of postage stamp. Thank you. Look, do you all see? She says I have the best organization ideas. Look, I appreciate it. This idea of putting it in sheet protectors is amazing because it keeps it from being everywhere. That, and also shoe boxes. I'm going to show you one. Shoe boxes. You buy these from Walmart. Walmart actually has, you can get a pack of 10 of them for $8, but individually they're $1. So you get the lid, the container and the lid, and I actually store projects. This is actually scraps, where it's chunks of scraps from other projects, and then each one, when I buy the fabric, I put them together in one of these. And then once I start actually working on it, it goes in the larger block size container. So I'm thinking of doing either some sort of pieced back, and the backing is either going to be done like a crumb quilt, where you'll just take the pieces and continue to like make your piece of fabric out of it, or a postage style backing. And I've been watching different videos. I haven't seen a lot on the crumb quilts. I've seen a little bit. But I saw this one that was done postage stamp size that it would take me probably forever to do, but it was so beautiful. And if I did it, it would mean that the quilt would be a two-sided quilt. Like you would have your front, which is the block a month, and then the back would be made with pieces from the actual fabric, but pieced in a different layout. So if I decide to do the crumb one or the postage one, it'll allow me, like when I can't work on these bigger pieces and when I just want to do something quick, I can just start cutting up all of this fabric, because right now it's in pieces and chunks, or the remainders of like triangles and stuff like that. And then I have a whole bag of half square triangles that I cut off the excess from the other pieces. So yeah, that's the other thing I was thinking about. I'll keep you all posted. Right now I feel like I have a lot of fabric to do it with, and I think the only thing that I would have to buy would be have you quilted something that big? Oh, great question. Kayla asked, am I planning to do the quilting myself? The answer to that is yes. And you asked, have I done something large, like actually did the quilting on a large quilt on my home machine? Yes, I have, to both of those. So I plan to quilt it myself, and I've done the largest size that I've done on my home machine is a queen size, and I've done many full sizes on my machine. To do that though, like I set my tables up a certain way, and it makes it a lot easier. No, wait, was a yeah, a queen size is the biggest size that I've done, and yes, I plan to do it myself. But I believe it's really going to depend on what I decide to do with the back, because if I decide to do all this piecing on the back, then, and it turns out really nice, I may not put it on the back because that would change the way the threading would look. So I'm gonna play with the ideas, and as I put it together, I will of course, you know, keep you all updated, but I plan to do it myself. One of the things that I have been toying with is there's a quilt shop in the Houstonish kind of area that will, if you pay, you can go in and take a class to be certified to rent their long arms. And you can go in and you can book long arm time and actually long arm your quilts there. But it is very tempting. But I feel like if I did it on a long arm, I would never want to do it on my own machine. Because doing it on your own machine, it's not that it's so hard. It's just it's a lot of work. And but I want to do it myself. So I will let you all know like what I decide to do with that. But that's kind of it for right now. It's, you know, what do I do with these if I'm going to, so I'll need to kind of cut them down into smaller pieces. Some of them are in smaller pieces. And then there are some that are just big chunks. For a little while, I was trying to use up this instead of cutting the big pieces that they sent to me, but it just became too much to worry about. So now all I do is use what they send me, and then I come in here. Now what it has been handy for keeping the scraps organized this way is when I've messed up, like when I miscut something or I didn't do something right. And I had that where I done it once and I didn't actually have a good backup, so I had to buy fabric. But I found a really nice Civil War blue that was close enough to it that you can't even tell it wasn't one of the original fabrics. And so I made sure that I bought plenty of that fabric. No, I bought like a yard of that fabric as a backup because it's a blue that you don't use a lot of. And when I looked at the overall layout of the quilt, I didn't feel like it would take away from the integrity of the overall quilt top. Okay, I think that's it. Any questions before I get to our last little like motivational tidbit? Thank you all for joining me. I apologize for not making it on last week. I was so sick. I wasn't feeling well, and my family let me sleep through my alarm, so I just wasn't feeling well. Okay, so this is the last of the, because I don't see any questions coming through. This is the last of the crafting blog, but this is kind of the motivational thing. And I don't think I've told you all this before, but if I've told you it before, I'm not going to apologize because that means we all need to hear it. So a few weeks ago, one of our pastors at our church, you know, sometimes I get my inspiration from just hearing the sermons. One of the pastors at our church was doing a sermon on the children of Israel from Exodus. And as she was talking about it, I was listening to her, but something like this vivid image popped in my mind. And if you're not familiar with the story of children of Israel, I'm gonna give you like the little summary. God had these chosen people, and they were enslaved in Egypt, and he chose Moses to go to them and to free them from slavery and from captivity in Egypt. The king did not want to free them because that was their labor, and it was just after a series of incidents, including plagues and all these things, he finally said, Moses, take them, you know, I will free you. When they leave Egypt, Moses is taking all of these people, and they're going on this journey to the promised land that God has promised them. And when he takes them on this journey, there's a couple of things that are important to kind of know. One, that the Spirit of God was leading them. So when the light was up, that's when they walked. And when the light was gone, then that's when they stopped. And Moses was the leader. The people were grumbling and mumbling because they were in slavery, but they felt like because they were in this dire situation, you know, that why didn't you just leave us in Egypt? And I'm getting somewhere with all of this. So when God takes them out of Egypt and he's leading them using Moses in the leadership, he takes them the long way, and he takes them through the wilderness. Now, when he takes them through the wilderness, he says that he's doing it because if he were to take them the normal route, that they would have encountered a fight, or they would have encountered people that would have caused them to have to fight. And he didn't believe that they were ready to deal with that just yet. Like they weren't, this may be my own interpretation on this part, but basically they weren't strong enough to have to deal with the battle. So he took them the long way. And I've read everything from that the normal way would have been 14 days or something like that, well, or 40 days. Like it would have been a shorter amount of time, but they were in the wilderness for 40 years, like going to where they need to be. So they're going, okay? I know, long story, sorry. Okay, sorry, not sorry. So they're on this journey. And at one point, they come to the Red Sea, and this is probably the part where most people know. If you've ever seen like the Prince of Egypt, like think of that. Think of the Prince of Egypt, kind of. Wait, it was the Prince of Egypt, right? They go to the Red Sea. They sit down at the Red Sea. They're running, and the king, the Pharaoh, is like on their back to coming to get them. And they get to the Red Sea, and it's a sea, okay? So they sit, and when they sit, over the course of the night, the Lord, he opens up the sea to the point of the next day they can walk across the dry land as the sea is parted to get to the other side. They get to the other side, the sea closes. When the sea closes, it takes out the Pharaoh and all of his men that were on their backs. Okay, this was important. I had to tell you all of that. So the picture that came to my mind is, how many times have you felt like doors have been closed in your face? Or you felt like you really wanted something and all of a sudden either the opportunity wasn't there, or you just felt like maybe you didn't have the heart to do it anymore. Something like vital, like changed. And when I was thinking about that, it was like noticing that when the sea closed, well, let me back up a little bit. When God took them this alternative route, I had to think to myself, well, if you were going an alternate way, let's say GPS takes you a new way to go to somewhere where you normally go. And when you get turned around, you really can't find your way back. Even if you know how to get home, like it's hard for you to find your way back to where you were. And I felt like, you know, how many times has God had to take me the alternate route? Because if I would have gone away that I knew, I would have turned around. So if I was in the place of the children of Israel, as I'm going and I'm in this wilderness and stuff is so hard, if they would have gone a route that they would have been familiar with, would they have stayed? Would they have stayed the course that would allow them to witness this miracle that God would have done? And that just blew me away. Like, it made me think, how many times has God had to burn your bridges? Has he had to close your doors so that you would not go back to something that you know good and well was not good for you? At one point, the children of Israel were complaining and they were mumbling to Moses like, you should have just left us in slavery. At least we had food and at least we had all of these things, not remembering they were in slavery. They were in bondage. They were being required to work in very poor conditions. And now they were walking into this promise that God had for them. But because God took them this alternate route, okay, look, this is not in a commentary. This is just like what my heart was feeling at the time. It made it so that they just had to trust God. They had to trust God because they were going this alternate route. And then for them to walk across the Red Sea on dry land and get to the other side, that meant that when that sea closed, he closed that door. To get back to Egypt, they would have to swim back across the Red Sea or go around the Red. Like, he was like, I'm closing that door. You need to move on to the next phase. And so to kind of wrap this up, it made me think, the second part I thought about is like, how many times had God had to close, burn bridges? Like, had he had to totally close a door so that I wouldn't try to go back to the familiar, so that I wouldn't try to go back to what I felt like I could handle or I could do on my own instead of trusting him. And the next part was that, you know, how many times have we tried to cry over spilled milk? Like, you want to go back to something and you know it's not good for you, but because I feel like I can handle that, or I feel like, well, at least I know those circumstances, then I would have tried to go back had he not burned that bridge. So what do burnt bridges look like in your life? It may be that at the time it breaks your heart, but maybe you and a friend totally fall out to where you don't even have communication with each other anymore. And at the time, it kind of hurts you because you're losing a friend. But the other part may be you don't need to be in this relationship no more. And I'm trying to show you. And because I'm trying to show you, you don't want to listen, I'm about to burn that bridge. It may be that God is asking you to step out and do your own business or to start a new job. And you leave an old job that maybe you liked, or maybe it was okay. It wasn't perfect, but you know, I made all right money. I mean, I had to stretch, but it was okay. But maybe you leave there, and because you had to give a 1 week notice instead of 2 week notice, it kind of leave on a little bit of bad terms. So you can't go back there. So it means that, you know what, God, I have to stay right where you have me and trust you because I can't go back to that place anymore. And so I wanted to share that because I feel like there's parts of my walk right now that I just feel like, God, I just have to trust you. You know, it's not easy doing what we do. It's not easy doing what I do, but I believe him and I'm sitting in expectation for what I know he has for me. I don't doubt that. And because I don't doubt that, then I can't doubt the journey he chooses to take me on, even if it's uncomfortable. Ooh, my little, look y'all, my little accessory. Even if it's uncomfortable, even if I don't get, this is the little, I got it from Wally World, you know, even if it's uncomfortable, even if I feel as if there are some times that I am having to strengthen different skills that I have in me, but I have to work at it. I have to work really hard at what I'm doing right now. And there are other things that I can easily do. And it's hard to choose this tough thing, even though I know it's the right thing, against something that I feel like would be so easy for me to do. So that is it for today. So the moral of the story is sometimes God has to burn bridges. And you know what? If we're praying and we're sitting in expectation, we cannot cry over spilled milk, and we cannot complain about the route that he chooses to take us on to get us to where he wants us to be. They was grumbling and mumbling, and every time I see that story, I think, why was they complaining? Like, you're with God. He's giving you everything you need. You need food, he's giving you food. You need water, he's giving you water. How many times have I complained because it's not what I wanted, or it's not what I expected? I'm sure they thought, if we're going to the promised land, I'm going to be there. It's going to be made. But there are some things that he's got to build in you so that when you get there, you can handle whatever it is that's going to be there on the other side of that door, okay? So, that's it. I wanted to do 30 minutes, not bad, 37 and counting. Don't forget to thumbs this video up. Don't forget to share it. I will put in the description box, you're welcome. Was it Erica? I'm so bad with names, y'all. Look. I'll put in the description box the link to the Crochet Cardigan, and I have no affiliation with them. I bought my own. I remember it. Now, girl, I'm going to ask you again next time, but I love your handle. I'll put that in the description box. I have no affiliation with them. I bought my own pattern, but I'm loving the pattern, and I feel like it's more than worth, even if it was $5. But for some reason, I'm remembering $2.50. My prayer and my intent is to be back the first week of September with an update, and I'll keep you all posted on these other things. If there is something, exactly, a destiny that we must reach. And I'm sorry, because she said, you know, that there is a destiny that we must reach. Yes, and I think sometimes for me, when I hear those conversations about our purpose and our destiny, that sometimes that conversation is void of understanding the work that it comes with that gift. Like that destiny and that purpose, that's all a gift that God just gives us. But it's not detached from work. It's not detached from trials. It's not detached from sweat and whatever else we got to go through to get to that destiny. So sometimes our gift is wrapped up in chaos. It's wrapped up in strain. It's wrapped up in, you just got to have some stick-to-itness to stay focused on what you know God has for you. And sometimes we can make it like, yes, it is a process. And sometimes it's like our gift is wrapped all up in that process, and that process don't feel right, and it feel kind of tight. You know what I'm saying? Thank you. Thank you for posting a picture. So that's why I wanted to say that. So yes. So link below. Don't forget to thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. There are less frequent videos, and I know that, and that's mainly because of I'm writing right now. I will also, you got to come back around because I'll put in the description box right now for my writing. I have 2 giveaways that I want to tell you all about. If you read romantic suspense books, I have one that's a giveaway for a Kindle eBooks. I have 5 books that will be given away, and then another one that I'm going to be doing a giveaway for, I believe, 3 signed copies of my debut novel, Black Diamond. So I will put that below, so you all got to come back around, okay? Don't forget. And I will link it on my Facebook fan page too. That's it. Thank you all for joining me and for accepting my apologies about having to reschedule this, but I think it was worth it because I actually had a lot of stuff to show you. So I'm out. Have a fantastic evening. It has been great catching up with you all. I hope that you are blessed, and I will see you all hopefully sooner than later. Take care and goodbye.